Hello everyone, my name is Fruitylicious, and today I will be covering the Estella storyline we know so far, or that the game has told us. If you aren't aware of what Estella is, it is an up-and-coming rhythm game which released its demo version in December of 2025, and has slowly been growing and making many of its players excited for its release. I am currently a top 100 player and lore enthusiast, so I have a little bit of background info and what's going to happen. With that said, let's get started. Before we can cover the main story of the game, we first have to look into the background situations that have led to the start. Most of this is just characters or entities, but we are also able to deduce what the protagonist's goal is and why they need to do it. The first character we will be exploring is, most likely, the most important character in the story other than the protagonist. Introducing the Comet. The Comet's only canon appearance in the game are in the title screen, the cover photo of Resurrection, and the cover for the Estella original Lost Night Meteor. The Comet, as far as I can tell, is going to be an actual character in the game, my main hint coming from the developer himself in a past devlog.
宇宙有关，就像是一个藏在故事里的神秘名字。后来我们让它成为了一颗金色的流星，后续会出现在故事里面。
We also know why the Comet is visiting us in the game's story. Looking at the official Estella website, the game gives us a somewhat vague backstory to the Comet, stating that it came from a mysterious universe and that ever since it has been protecting different planets within the game's main universe. Whenever it crosses the sky, it chooses a new protagonist to fight against the antagonist. We know very little about the Purple Fog, other than what it does and what it is capable of. The Purple Fog is the antagonist in the current story, and it has the abilities to destroy worlds. The first instance we see its destructive power is in the chapter Night of Blooming. In the area named Withering Terra, the protagonist had been walking through a forest with flowers just moments beforehand, before being met with an area that had little to no life within it. The only life being a mysterious flower known as a Viabane. While researching for this video, I couldn't find any flower in our world named that, so keep in mind that it is a flower that only exists within this game's universe. The first appearance of this purple mist is within the final animatic just before you unlock Riplosia. The antagonist, at the end of a cave, sees a giant floating purple crystal that seems to be gazing at her. Is this purple fog or not? I have no idea, but in my opinion, it seems to be pointing to the crystal having something to do with it. Now, this is one aspect of the story where I'm lost. I do know that Estella has its fair share of poor translations, but it continuously makes it a point to separate the colors violet and purple, making me think that the violet mist we see in the chapter Violet Slope is separate from the purple fog. In this mist, it seems as if it has the opposite effect of the purple fog. It brings life towards it, with the previously mentioned Viabanes being in much more abundance. It's also interesting to note that the path the violet mist is on brings us to a particularly important pond. It has a story button, making sure that it's important to the storyline. And it makes the point that it has a mirror-like property, very important. It also highlights the Viabanes again. Now, in my opinion, it could be that the Comet is the one controlling the violet mist, and that's what makes this area so important. But since at the end it says that the Viabanes are leading the protagonist somewhere, that also helps fuel my theory. Theory? Theory. But I could be wrong. Now, you're probably wondering who this protagonist that I keep mentioning is. Her name is Alina. The story opens with Alina being awoken by a violet thunderstrike. Keep that in mind. After she calms down, she looks at her hand and realizes that it's becoming translucent for an odd reason. Recovering from this oddly quickly, as many people with disappearing hands do, she notices a sweet fragrance coming from outside, most likely the previously mentioned Viabanes. Alina then follows a path of stars, bringing her to a cross-section. Now, this part is a little tricky. I have no idea what path is the canon one, so I'll try my best to explain both of them as best I can. I'm going to be starting with the forest path that is... why do I keep messing up the script? as it is probably the most known in the community. This path features the most songs, featuring Ruins, Resurrection, and Replosia. As Alina walks down this path, she finds ruins she didn't know were there, asking herself if they were always there before or not. Now, I don't have a solid reason as to question why she asks that, but I'll cover it more in the theories portion of this video. Continuing on, Elena enters a sparse forest with viabanes few and far between. As she presses on, the life in the forest dies more and more with each step, until only withered flats cover the end. After following the guide more, she enters a cave, and within her journey of this cave, she encounters the glowing crystal we had mentioned previously, and the path ends there. Now, to note, this is the only area that is glitching. I'll cover that in the theories portion as well. Stay tuned. Following the other path, Elena encounters a somewhat beautiful area, violet mist enveloping it and viabanes glimmering, making an almost dreamlike spectacle. Following the viabanes, Elena encounters a mirror pond. This pond, as I explained earlier, focuses heavily on the fact that it's like a mirror. I don't even have a theory as to why, and this chapter is rather short, ending with Elena continuing to follow the viabanes. And so far, that's all there is to the main story of Estella. The other chapters don't really feature much that's confirmed. And so yeah, that's all the confirmed lore and the storyline for Estella. You can click off this video, or you can stay and watch my theories regarding aspects of the game. Now, I have a lot of theories regarding many things within this game. The first being what the viabanes are and how they tie into the comet. The viabanes are an unexplained phenomena that appear numerous times throughout the game's story, most predominantly on the good path, otherwise known as the hillside path. They guide Elena through the slopes, much like the comet. I believe that the comet uses these viabanes in order to guide Elena down the path that it wants her to follow, going away from as far as possible from the purple fog, as we see the hillside path going the opposite direction of the forest path. As to how the comet is controlling the viabanes, I can't say for certain. Now, I have numerous theories regarding the purple fog, but the main one is, why is the Replosia chapter glitched? I believe it was never supposed to happen. In the game, there are certain notes that are referred to as glitched notes. These notes need more precise timing to be able to hit and get a more accurate perfect. The only reason I bring them up is because of their name, glitched. There are only two other instances of something being related to glitching appearing in the game. The top difficulty for every song, and the Replosia chapter. It makes me think, was it ever supposed to exist? We know some songs are canon to the game's storyline, such as Ruin, Resurrection, and Replosia. Other songs, including Lost Night Meteor, can be considered as canon, since they are Estella originals. In the title of Ruins, we unlock it after exploring the ruins, leading me to believe that the title suggests what's going on in the moment. In Resurrection, we see Elena staring at the comet while being surrounded by viabanes. Now, I didn't add in the script why I think this is important, but I do believe that Elena is somehow connected to the purple fog as well as the comet in a sort of weird way. Now, what I also want to note here is that the way they spell resurrection also seems as if it's glitching, as if the game is beginning to tell us that something isn't right. And finally, Replosia, the hardest chart in the game. With the spelling of resurrection, the constant mentions of glitching, and the fact that the area to unlock Replosia is glitching, I believe that Replosia was made by the purple fog. It's a song that was never supposed to exist, and that's why it's so much harder than every other song in the game. It was never supposed to be a song. So, there are many aspects of this game that are still a mystery to me. Why is Elena's hand fading away? Why doesn't Elena know about the ruins? Why did the comet choose Elena specifically? There are some questions I don't have answers for, and for now, we'll have to wait until the full game is released. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and if you haven't played Estella, I hope this video is what makes you decide to test it out. Please support the creators of this game, and thanks for watching. Peace.